Hi everyone, I'm David Lisot. We're here at the Long Beach Coin Expo. It's September 19th, 2008. Of all people I've bumped into is my old friend Martin Weiss. Marty had run PandaAmerica and has all kinds of background in coins and numismatics, one of the big importers of coins. And Marty, what are you doing here at the Long Beach show?
Just seeing how what's happening in the coin market.
And what do you think's going on? What do you think of this gold market?
It's unreal, actually. This has been the wildest week in the gold market that I've ever seen. It's been up $100, down $100. I mean, it's been all over the place. It's never been this much volume. In all the years that I've been in the business, and I've been in it since 1969. So what is that? 69, 79, 89, 40 years, yeah, right, 40 years. Never been anything like this.
What do you think's going to happen?
That's hard to say, actually. It's because we're in uncharted territory. What we're doing now is what the government is doing now has never been done before. I mean, basically, they're assuming all the mistakes of these big banks and these big corporations, and taking in all their bad deals, and converting it to they're converting bad debt into good money, or bad money, I should say.
Yeah.
It's all in the end. I think it's all going to be very inflationary, and we'll just make the gold and silver and the platinum go higher and higher and higher. They're just diluting and screwing up the money more and more.
And so, are you currently involved in any businesses now?
Well, I do some financing, gold financing and things like that, but I have gold as collateral. So it's basically risk-free, I feel, you know.
You were involved and you ran PandaAmerica. What was that like?
I'm a pharmacist by profession, all right? And I had several pharmacies at the time, and I was doing very well in the pharmaceutical business at the time. And coin collecting was a hobby with me. Well, there was a point in time where I decided to go and do coins as a business. So and this was around 1981. I established a company in Palos Verdes, California. In fact, you used to come to the office there.
Malaga Cove.
In Malaga Cove, right. And prior to establishing the office, I had traveled a lot. And along the way, I had met people who were involved in issuing new coins, for working with different countries and issuing coins. And one of the countries was Macau. And the person who had the contract with Macau for their coinage was a friend of mine. And when he heard I established a company, he says, "Hey, you could be the worldwide distributor for these new products." So I tried to go and promote these, and I met some marketers in New York who I presented these coins of Macau to them, and they told me about these, that they were working on a deal with China. Well, to make a long story short, I wound up becoming the distributor for China via that connection. And I changed the name of the company. It was called International Registry. I changed it to PandaAmerica. And that's essentially how it established. And I wound up getting the contract for the Panda coins from China. We were the first distributor in the United States that China had. At that time, China had just opened up it was just opening up to the world. They were, so from that time on, it kept growing and growing and growing. It became from the China deal, we made a deal with Australia on their coins, and then Singapore, we became the distributor for Singapore Mint, and then before we knew it, we had almost all the mints in the world that we were distributors for.
So how did that work out for you?
It worked out very well. I did very well, and this after having the company for what was it, about 25 years, and then I retired. Sold it to one of my former employees, who was with me for a long time, and they're running it now.
How about, tell me, what were some of your more exciting deals?
In 1984, the director, Mr. Bien, he was the director of the Shanghai Mint, came to the ANA in San Diego, and we escorted him here. Anyway, he had a hearing aid, and he had one of these old-fashioned hearing aids, and whenever you talked to him, he was always turning up, he couldn't hear. You know, it was one of these old hearing aid things. So my wife says, hey, wait a second, she took him to a hearing aid doctor here in LA, and he got one of the modern hearing aids, put it in, and all of a sudden the guy could hear. And he was, you know, he was like reborn, you know. He was so happy. He says, whatever you want done at the Mint, you tell me whatever project, and I'll make sure you get it. So I came up with the idea of making a 12-ounce gold panda, the first large gold coin from China. And he got it approved right away. And we were the exclusive distributors worldwide. And it sold out right away. You know, it was a big success. You know, that's what, you know.
It's a good story,
yeah.
Good story.
Now those coins, I mean, what they're 30 or 40 or $50,000 or something, you know.
What was the mintage like?
250.
250.
Yeah. And then there were other coins along the way that, you know, I had a whole, one time I was this is in the early 90s in Hong Kong. I'm at the airport and I'm ready to come home after a meeting, and I read a book, The Inventions and Discoveries of China, you know. There's a book in the bookstore. So I bought the book and I started looking through it. I said, gee, there's like over 100 inventions and discoveries. Some of them are really interesting. And they all could be in visual things, like the invention of the umbrella or the compass and stuff like. So I took all of these inventions and put a program together. You know, coin pro. I got a sculptor, an artist, Alex Shagan. We sat down and we started drawing some of these inventions, put them in visual form, and then I submitted that to the People's Bank of China as a 7-year program. You know, 5 different inventions a year, and that was approved. In fact, it's funny because the last week I was just in Hong Kong, and we had a kilo gold coin in this series, and the person that had bought the #1 coin, he had bought two of the #1 coin. Yeah, he had 2 of them. One was the seismograph, the other was the compass. He had him 2 kilo gold coins, and he was asking $1 million for the 2 coins. You know, which I mean.
Then there was the one with the Singapore tiger in 1986. What happened with that?
Oh yeah, that was. This friend of mine in Singapore, who was also a distributor, he was putting together a coin show, the Singapore coin show. So, and you know, I was the distributor for the Mint. He was the distributor. So they wanted an idea to really promote the show. So I came up with this idea of making a 12-ounce gold tiger and rabbit for the show, and giving each person that had a table an option to buy one of each of these 12-ounce coins. They had this chit that they came with when they bought the table. All right. So when the show started, the market was really good at the time. It went wild. The chits were trading for $6,000 each. just the right to buy the coin at issue price. So everybody that had a table at the show made money at the show, you know. That was, and it sold out too, the Tiger and the Rabbit. Yeah, these are stories of the modern coin market.
Napoleon Weiss.
Right. Anyway.
What are some of the other things you're involved in? You're involved in photography.
Yeah, I'm a photographer. I've been doing photography since the 60s as a hobby.
Well, if you've got just another minute, can you tell me you're involved in music as well?
Well, yeah, I play the piano and I compose music. I do that. That's a hobby too. I have a lot of hobbies.
Marty, you're involved in television as well. What do you do in the television markets?
Well, yeah, in the 90s, I had a shopping network on TV, national TV. We had initially I had a show on TV, a coin show in which we sold coins. And then I used to have to go from my office in Torrance to Hollywood at the CNN building and broadcast from there and carry the coins back and forth every day, which was a hassle. So I said, well, you know, I'm going to build my own studio in Torrance and broadcast from Torrance, which I did. But then as long as I was building the studio, I had to get a transponder on a satellite to broadcast. And so it came to such a state that I had to expand other than coins and do a whole shopping network, because at least the transponder was so expensive. You couldn't run just 4 hours on the transponder. You had to run 24 hours a day. So I started having a 24 hours a day shopping network. And I ran that for about 6-7 years, and then sold that to a TV company that took it over in 1999. But in the process, I had bought and established some TV stations across the country, like 14 different stations, which when I sold the shopping network, I kept the stations. And to this day, I still have some of those TV stations.
No, you gotta go, Marty. Thanks for taking the time with us. Thanks for watching. That was Martin Weiss. I'm David Lisot, and this is the Long Beach Coin Expo.
Yeah, all right, so I've been documented now. We got some of the stories now.